Welcome back to being subjected to my tangents. Anyway, long story short about the Westboro cult. Uh, the parents started getting kind of funky, and then I was getting weirded out because, even as a dumbass child, you're kind of like, man, I don't know how I feel about this. So I stopped hanging out with them, uh, especially because one day they tried getting me to go on the bus, and the bus was there. They never picked me up or tried to pull me toward it or anything, but it was very strong coercion of like a 6-year-old child.
Like a school bus or like a bus to the church?
A bus to the church,
Okay.
those buses.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure they were homeschooled. Because I took the school bus that left from the apartment complex, and those kids were never on it, and they
Okay.
were my age.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure that they were homeschooled, or maybe schooled by the church, something like that. Uh, Well, anyway, one day, one day I was out playing pretty late with my friend Amber, and I didn't tell my mom that I had gone to a different friend's house because Amber had to eat dinner and then she had to get ready for bed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it was okay, so it was summer and it was dusk, so it was probably 7:40, pretty late for a young child to be out. Um, and I didn't tell my mom where I was going, and my mom was like, okay, it's pretty late. So she went to Amber's house and talked to Amber's mom, and Amber's mom was like, oh yeah, Leslie's not here. So my mom freaked the fuck out. Uh, and because she didn't know where I was, she thought the church people had taken me.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm playing on my friend's terrace, another friend of mine, and I see my mom leading a mob of other parents that I know from my building and the surrounding buildings, and they're calling my name, and I think I'm in trouble. So I sit on the terrace and I'm looking at my friend and I'm like, fuck. So I stand up on the terrace, I'm like, hey mom, I'm here. And then she saw me and I could tell that she was really happy, but then she was immediately like, Leslie Ann, get your fucking ass down here. And I was like, fuck. So then I flew out of. Anne is not my middle name. My mom only calls me Leslie Ann when I'm in shit.
Wait, why the fuck does she call you that then?
Because Anne is her middle name, and when she was in trouble, she would be called Stephanie Ann.
So?
So I don't know. She just calls me Leslie Ann, I guess,
What?
out of habit of being called Stephanie Ann. I don't know.
Okay.
But I mean, hey, it's a warning system. If I'm ever called by my real middle name, I know that I'm okay, it's a joke. But if I'm called Leslie Ann, I need to be in the next state.
Yeah.
And that's the long ass story of how I was kind of almost groomed into going to church with a fucking cult, and the parents used their culty children. That was kind of bizarre.
Very epic.
Yeah, very epic, very cool.
Tell your fucking role-playing story.
Oh, okay, so I had this hobby where I'll join roleplay servers and forums and shit like that. Specifically when I know the roleplay is not going to be that great. And I have a few. Is that a spiel in the water?
No. It's a fuck. It's a seal. Or a dugong.
Okay.
Spiel's
Okay,
Gen
okay.
3.
Okay. Well, I'll join places I know that the roleplay is not going to be great. And I have a few criteria of places where I know the roleplay is going to be ass, and that is that's anime servers, specifically shonen where there's a lot of fighting.
Yeah.
So My Hero Academia, JoJo's one. Bleach is another one. Dragon Ball is a huge one. So those are good if you want an anime type thing going on. Then fantasy servers are another good one. Specifically fantasy servers that advertise you can play whatever you want. Those are really good because people will join and they're like, my character's a half sea dragon, half dark elf royal, it's that type of people, the type of people who don't understand that your character being powerful as shit doesn't make it a good character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that bullshit. And then there's Oh, a really good one I've found is Twilight servers. Those are amazing for bad roleplay. Um, I I'm especially fond of finding like the erotic roleplay that
Mm.
people do because they're always bad. Uh One I found like they keep on like you can tell these people have never had sex
I
because they
know
keep
what
on
sex is, I just won't tell you.
they keep describing like cum tasting sweet, like dessert sweet, not like vaguely sweet, like fucking like sugary, like dessert
O-
cake sweet.
Okay, so like it's frosting.
Let's see what this one says. Uh, this specific quote says, "Your taste like cinnamon and sugar."
Your taste.
Yeah, I think they meant to say you, but they typed your instead. That kind of thing.
I want to see an edit of that one, the fucking Sigma meme you sent me where it's the Joker in the jail. It says your taste like, what did it say? Your taste like sugar?
Cinnamon and sugar with a
Yeah.
tilde at the end.
With a what?
A tilde, you know those little like squiggly lines at the end that you put on like the end of like flirty statements?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a tilde or a tilde or whatever the fuck. Um Oh my god, here's a really good one. This character's name is Vince. Uh Grips her hips hard. He then slaps her ass hard, leavening a handprint there. He then claws her back up to hell. He grins as he thrusted. You can come all you want, my lovely lassie. He groans as he slams into her a couple more times, reaching in front of her in fast, crucial movements.
I assume there's no punctuation in that.
Nope, no commas.
Not necessary.
Nope.
Commas for pussies.
Yeah, oh my god. Dude, listen, I love a good, like, internet roleplay as much as the next person. Oh boy, but do I love a bad one?
Yeah, I think I prefer bad. Not much for a role player myself.
I've been huge into fucking roleplay, like, ever since I was fucking, like, young, because I was not good at making friends, and I had escapist fantasies because my life sucked, so I was like, I'm gonna pretend to be something cool on the internet. And then I was like, oh, other people do this, and it's fun when we do this together. That is my favorite thing. So for years, I was into roleplay because I hated my life and I wanted to get out of it. So that's why it, like, stuck. Oh,
Speaking
man.
of being a young poor, this is probably something you can relate to too.
Yeah.
Are there any sounds like from your childhood that bring up the worst fucking feeling? Like it's not like specifically a bad feeling, but it just feels horrible. Like
Oh,
the
you
Jeopardy
go
sound.
first. Really?
Yeah. Where it's like it's not like a bad feeling, but it's like this is a situation where when I experience this, I don't want to be back in.
Like a sound that, like, doesn't necessarily have anything negative to do with you. It's just tied to something traumatic that happened.
Yeah.
Hmm. Was the Jeopardy sound like one for you?
Yeah.
Fuck, I absolutely do. I just can't fucking. I know exactly what you're talking about, though, where you'll hear a noise,
And it's
and,
bad
like,
times.
yeah, and you're immediately like, oh fuck.
I was
Yeah.
watching someone stream Jeopardy last night, and the noise, you know, like when they fucking the ding 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 when they pull up the fucking new blank whatever the fuck on the board,
Yeah.
and it was like everything is fucked, everything is fucked. Have
Yep.
you seen that video?
Yeah, I've seen
Egg
that
Dog
video.
Adventures.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. For me specifically, it's not like one, it's like a genre of sounds. It's heavy footsteps in a hall or outside my door.
Also, my cologne apparently. It's the worst
Oh,
sound.
well Yeah, your cologne is the same kind that my dad wore, and I used to smell it all the time when I lived with him. And then that time you were getting ready, and I was just talking to Taryn in your guys' room, and I just got like a fucking waft, and I was like, my dad is here. I was like, fuck. It was weird because like I didn't say it, but at the time of like smelling it, like my fucking blood ran cold because it was like, holy shit, like that is my fucking dad. It was bizarre. It was a really, I was like, I didn't know I would have such a fucking reaction to something that like reminded me of my father. But then I thought about it and I was like, never mind, it makes sense. I am stupid for thinking that it wouldn't make sense.
Shit adds up.
But yeah, uh, but to the sound thing, it's definitely footsteps in a hall or like that's dude, like living here like fucks with me because I'll hear like loud steps coming up and down the stairwell, and I've gotten pretty good at gauging like what level of the stairs they're on, because like if they're really faint, I know that they're one of the ground floor tenants. And if I hear them go up one flight of stairs, I know that it's like the person who lives on the second floor. The weed neighbors are no longer here. They left.
What a shame.
Yeah, what a shame. But if I hear them come up the second flight, the third flight of stairs, which then leads to a landing, I am immediately spooked because I'm like, holy shit. I don't know why. It just freaks me the fuck out. I just get more and more anxious. And I think that also has to do with, first of all, maintenance. They can just walk in to the apartment anytime they want. I mean,
That's
they have
fucked.
to leave a notice. It screws with me because
Yeah.
I don't like having a stranger in my house that I can't kick out.
Right.
And that like fucks with me because the maintenance guys are like, one of them already tripped me out because when we first moved in here, we had a really leaky bathtub tap. And we were like, hey, this thing is leaking for like 10 minutes after we turn off the water. And they were like, okay, cool, we'll get a guy in to like fix this shit. And I was like, all right, thanks. So it was, my brother was going to school around that time, and my mom would be at work, so I was the only one home. And, which, you know, like, whatever. Then, the guy was in here, and it was just me and my dog and I were just chilling on the couch. And the guy, like, the maintenance guy, the younger one, he, like, would, like, yell and, like, curse. And, like, yelling is a big thing for me. Like, I don't like it when people yell. It fucking scares me. And just hearing, like, a guy yelling in my house that I couldn't kick out fucking sucked. It sucked. And then he had to come back the next day. And he's, like, a nice dude, but, like, I still have that impression, because I was like, he scares me. And then the other guy is an older guy, and he's chill. But he, one day I was asleep, and I hadn't been answering the door. My brother was here too, but we were both asleep because it was pretty early in the morning, and he had to come in and turn off the water. And we usually get a text because the water heaters in our apartment, the entire building's water heaters is in our apartment, mind
How
you.
many
It's really
apartments
bizarre.
are in your building?
In my section of the building, because it's like one big block,
Yeah.
but it's split into A, B, C, D. There are 6 apartments in each block.
Wait, so is that like just
Or
for
in
those
each
6, or is
section.
it like the
Just
whole
for the
goddamn?
6.
Okay,
Just for the 6.
that's a tad bit more
Um,
reasonable.
Yeah. Well, he had to come in one day, and none of us were answering, and so, like, he could just walk in.
Right.
And I was like, I didn't like it. I was not a fan of that shit. Not in the slightest.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, so, like, stairs, or I guess, like, steps on stairs, and then the hall outside the door, that
What-
kind of tripped me out.
What kind of flooring do you have in your apartment complex? Isn't it carpeted?
It is, no, it
Like
is
the
entirely
stairwell?
hardwood.
Is it?
Yeah, it's, and the stairwell, I mean, you have, like, I think we have like a mat in front of like the entrance to the building. Uh, but it's just like on the actual floor. It's not tiles, but it's that tile patterned. Uh,
Linoleum.
yeah, it's that on all the
Okay.
steps going up. And then in the apartments, it's entirely hardwood. In the kitchen, it's linoleum, and in the bathroom, it's linoleum. But everywhere else is hardwood. If you want something soft to walk on, you gotta put it down yourself. You're not allowed to like, oh, we're not allowed to put like command hooks on the walls.
We're not either, but we do anyway.
Yeah,
Because
that
I'm
like
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive. I'd have to check the lease, but I'm pretty sure people aren't allowed to smoke weed in their apartments, but they still do. So I figured it was
yeah.
okay if we put up command strips.
Yeah, yeah. Also here the same thing. People aren't allowed to smoke weed and people aren't allowed to smoke within 18 feet of the building in general.
It seems like people are allowed to. They're just not allowed to report that other people are.
Yes, that's pretty much it. Um, the people who own the building I live in kind of suck. No, don't put that fucking out there. Bleep that
Oh.
shit out. You dipshit.
um.
People are gonna be like, oh, she lives there and she's described this thing. Oh, when she mentioned C, they can fucking triangulate my shit. Bleep that shit out.
Leslie lives in an apartment. I'm gonna sample that little sound you made and use that to bleep it out.
I love that.
Didn't you have like a meth lab under you for a little while?
No, okay, so, um, the meth lab was floor below us across the hall before we moved in.
Okay.
What I had below me when we moved in up until like last month was a marijuana salesman.
Small business.
Yeah, small business. Who would frequently have friends over until 11, 12, 1 at night in the morning. And they had a small child. Like it sounded like a toddler. I saw this thing in person, like 2 years old maximum.
This thing.
Yeah, this little fucking creature. Um, Small child. And they would just have people over, and I would know they would have people over because they would be yelling in the stairwell, yelling, playing loud ass music in their apartment. And I mean, that didn't bother me too much because I stay up until 3 normally anyway. So by the time I go to bed, they're already long gone. My brother stays up until 3, and my mom takes like heavy duty sleep aid.
Nice.
So like, you know, we're whatever. We keep odd hours as a family in general. Um, but holy shit, that kid must have not been getting any fucking sleep at all. And I told you, or I might have told you, there were like weird noises, like coming from their apartment sometime.
What do you mean weird noises?
Like, okay, so they're on the same side of the building beneath me, so their entire apartment is mirrored to mine.
Okay.
So either my bedroom shares a wall with Davies.
Mm-hmm.
In either one of those rooms, something was hitting the shared wall. And I'm not talking about like softly and every now and then, like someone knocking on a wall. I'm talking, it sounded like someone took their whole body weight and was slammed into the wall full force 4 or 5 times in a row, like rapidly.
Jesus.
And it would be so white, what's so white? Why did I say white?
It is pretty white of them.
Yeah, no. Oh, I think I said white because the screen flashed white and I'm like distracted. It was so like loud that it would wake me up out of a dead fucking sleep. Like in the middle of the night. I sleep through like heavy ass thunderstorms. This shit would shake the wall and would scare me awake. Like I don't get scared awake pretty often, but that was like, it would scare me.
Yeah, you're a bitch to wake up.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I have to full on step on you to wake you up.
Yeah. it was like, oh, about that, I'm a pretty light sleeper. I just kind of refuse to wake up sometimes.
We have things to do in Amish country, and you just
You're
fucking sleep
right.
through it. You're screwing around. We're trying to find small business owners
You're right. You're right.
like
Uh,
yourself.
Not so much anymore, but anyway. So, it would like wake me up, and to make super sure I wasn't hallucinating, because I've like had hallucinations at night. Um, I would like wake my mom up, and I'd be like, "Did you also hear that?" And she'd be like, "Yes." And I would look to see if my dog was awake, and he would be awake. And I would see if my brother was awake, and he would be awake. And I was like, "Holy shit! What the fuck is happening?" And that happened like 2 or 3 times. Like it wasn't super regular, but it scared the fuck out of me every single time it happened.
My
I hated
neighbors
it.
have a dog.
Yeah.
So like these people also be fighting a lot. So I've learned to
Okay.
just
Okay.
ignore it when I hear yelling from that apartment.
Yeah.
But
What do they fight about?
I don't know. They're fucking seem like they're about my age, our age, and they got a
Oh,
little
okay.
kid. So
Oh, so they hate their lives. Okay.
yeah. Anyway, they also have a dog. Um, so like the first week we were here, it was only a few days in because you guys hadn't come down yet.
Yeah.
I hear the guy yelling, and I'm already like at this point, like to the point where I'm just fucking ignoring it.
Hmm.
Um, but then I notice that he's screaming, "Get off the fucking counter!"
Yeah.
Uh, and then later that day, I heard him down in the commons area because people would be taking their dogs down there to let them shit, you know.
Yeah.
And he was like talking to his dog, having a conversation with it about why it can't do that.
He was talking to it.
Yeah, he was like, "Dude, you can't be getting up on the counter."
I love that. What kind of dog is it? Did you say that?
No, it's fucking not a big dog. It's like what the fuck are they called? A pit bull mix,
Oh, okay.
but like
Okay.
one of the little ones, like the stubby ones, you know?
Huh. Little stubby. Are you sure it's not just like, because pit bulls can either be like spry, or they can be like the really squat ones with the broad ass shoulders.
No, it's a mix because it's not one of the broad ones. It's like it's just small, but it's still like lanky, like the big ones are.
Oh, okay.
That or it's a runt. It could be a runt.
Okay.
Next time, more dog talk.
More dog talk.
More dog talk.
More dag tag.
Tag tag.